You know, a fire can absolutely explode in just a matter of seconds, and grabbing the wrong fire extinguisher, that can make a bad situation a whole lot worse, sometimes even deadly. So today, we're going to break down the different types of fire extinguishers and make sure you know how to use the right one in the right emergency.
A real fire is nothing like what you see in the movies. It is pure chaos. It's incredibly fast, it's loud, and it's disorienting. The heat is just overwhelming, and the smoke can blind you in an instant. You have absolutely no time for second guessing.
So, that brings us to the big question. You've only got a few seconds to react. Do you actually know which extinguisher to grab? And this isn't some test question. In a real fire, your answer could literally be the difference between life and death.
A fire extinguisher is your very first line of defense, the one thing that can stop a small fire from becoming a full-blown disaster. But it's a tool. And like any tool, if you use the wrong one, it can be incredibly dangerous. You could get electrocuted, you could cause a grease fire to explode all over a kitchen. Believe me, your choice matters.
So, to fight a fire, you first have to understand what you're up against. And that's where fire classes come in. Just think of them as profiles of the enemy, right? They're all defined by one simple thing: what's fueling the blaze. To make this super easy to remember, we're going to use a few simple tricks. Class A is for things that turn to ash. Think wood, paper, cloth, that kind of stuff. Class B is for flammable liquids you might find in a barrel, like gasoline or oil. Class C is for fires involving electrical current, anything that's plugged in and energized. For Class D, think dynamite, because these are combustible metal fires that can be really reactive. And finally, Class K is for the kitchen, specifically those dangerous cooking oil and fat fires. These little mnemonics will help you size up a fire in seconds.
Okay, so we know the different kinds of fires. Now, let's meet our arsenal. We're going to walk through the 5 main types of extinguishers you're going to see out there, and each one is a specialist, designed for a very specific job.
First up is the most basic one, the one everyone thinks of, the water extinguisher. You'll spot it because it's usually solid red or has a bright red label. It's the oldest trick in the book for a reason, but its simplicity is exactly what can make it so dangerous if you use it in the wrong situation.
This extinguisher is only for Class A fires. We're talking paper, wood, textiles. All it does is cool the fuel down so it can't burn anymore. Simple. But here is the critical warning, and I need you to hear this. Never, ever use water on an electrical fire. Water conducts electricity, and you could get a fatal shock. And if you use it on a cooking oil fire, the water will sink, flash into steam, and cause a massive flare-up that throws burning grease everywhere.
Next up, we have the foam extinguisher, which you can identify by its cream-colored band. Now this one is a bit more versatile, and it's fantastic when you're dealing with flammable liquid fires.
So foam is designed for both Class A and Class B fires. How it works is pretty cool. It basically lays down a blanket over the fuel. This blanket smothers the fire, cutting off its oxygen, while the water in the foam helps cool everything down. It's perfect for something like a gasoline spill. But just like the plain water extinguisher, that water content makes it a huge no-go for any electrical fires.
All right, now for the high-tech solution, the CO2 or carbon dioxide extinguisher. Look for the black label on this one. You can think of this as the cleanup crew of fire extinguishers, built specifically for electrical risks. The CO2 extinguisher takes on Class B and C fires by pushing all the oxygen out of the way, literally suffocating the flames. Now, its best feature by far is that it leaves absolutely no residue, zero mess. That makes it the perfect choice for server rooms or labs with sensitive electronics. But you need to be careful. It discharges at a frigid -78 degrees Celsius, so never touch the nozzle because it can give you a very serious cold burn.
So what if you need a jack of all trades? You know, one extinguisher that can handle the 3 most common fire hazards you'd find in an office, a home, or a work site.
Well, meet the dry chemical ABC extinguisher. You'll know it by its blue label. This thing is effective against Class A, B, and C fires because its powder actually interrupts the fire's chemical reaction. It's a real workhorse. But it has some pretty big downsides. The powder it leaves behind is corrosive and can ruin electronics. It also creates this massive cloud that makes it hard to see, which is why it's a really bad choice for small, enclosed spaces. Okay, our final specialist is designed for one of the most dangerous and, frankly, common types of fires out there, the kitchen fire. This is the wet chemical extinguisher, and you'll spot it by its yellow band.
This extinguisher is really the only safe option for Class K fires, and it works in a really clever way. It sprays this fine mist that instantly cools down that super hot oil, and then it reacts with it to create a soapy layer right on the surface. This process is called saponification, and it suffocates the fire, and, this is crucial, it prevents it from reigniting. This is an absolute must-have in any commercial kitchen that uses deep fat fryers.
So, we know the tools. We've gone through the whole arsenal. But just knowing about them is useless in an emergency. Choosing the right extinguisher isn't just about following the safety procedure, it is a life or death decision.
Let me give you a real-world example of what's at stake. An electrical panel is on fire. You run and grab the nearest extinguisher. If it's a water extinguisher, you're risking electrocution, and you're probably going to spread the fire. It's game over. But if you grab the correct CO2 extinguisher, the fire is out safely and the equipment might even be saved. Same fire, two choices, two completely different outcomes.
Okay, you've sized up the fire, you've chosen the right extinguisher, now you actually have to use it. Fortunately, there's a really simple 4-step method that works for almost every extinguisher out there. It's called PASS.
Let's walk through it right now. First, pull the pan at the top. This will break that little plastic tamper seal. Next, aim low. You want to point the nozzle at the very base of the fire, not up at the flames. Then, squeeze the handle slowly and evenly to release the agent. And finally, sweep the nozzle from side to side, covering the entire base of the fire until it is completely out. Just remember, pull, aim, squeeze, sweep.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's just take a second and review the most important takeaways. This is your go-to checklist for remembering what to use and when.
All right, here it is, short and sweet. Water, the red one, Class A only, for your ordinary combustibles. Foam, the cream one, Class A and B, great for liquid spills. CO2, the black one, Class B and C. That's the no-mess choice for electronics. Dry chemical, the blue one, that's your A, B, C all-rounder. But remember, it is messy and corrosive. And finally, wet chemical, the yellow one, Class K, the only safe choice for a kitchen grease fire.
Look, this isn't just abstract information to memorize for a test. This is knowledge that empowers you to act, to be decisive and correct in a moment of absolute crisis. It's a skill that can protect property, prevent injuries, and truly, it can save lives.
If you want to learn more about fire safety, workplace safety, and emergency preparedness, subscribe to HSE Study. Our mission is to help you stay safe, stay prepared, and stay alive.